Welcome, focused learners. Today, we are diving into a truly fascinating explainer about an incredibly personal journey. We're looking at the 29-year journey of a creator named Mori Kubo and how he went from a chaotic, anxiety-inducing career in the IT industry to discovering absolute mental clarity. Seriously, if you've ever felt like your brain is just constantly working against you, or if you just want to understand the mechanics of focus on a completely different level, you are in the exact right place. Okay, let's dive right into our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start with the endless ADHD struggle, and then count down his top 3 transformative habits: the power of Concerta, the reminder life, and the ultimate #1 habit, the AI diary. Finally, we'll wrap up with how you can turn those weaknesses into massive strengths. So let's kick things off with Section 1, the endless ADHD struggle and the stakes of distraction. Now, to really appreciate these solutions, we have to understand what Mori Kubo's first 6 years in the IT industry actually looked like. Simple tasks felt literally impossible. He'd leave essential items right by the front door only to walk straight past them, or he'd agonizingly procrastinate on a tiny 15-minute task for days on end. The solutions we're going to talk about today weren't just found overnight. They were hard-won through over 100 painful trial-and-error experiments. He basically treated himself like a human laboratory, throwing out what failed and keeping only what made an undeniable impact on his daily life. He actually described it as the heart-stopping, cold sweat panic of realizing 2 hours vanished and I missed a major meeting. And wow, you can really feel the intense emotional stakes there, right? This wasn't just about missing a deadline. It was about plummeting self-esteem, destroying workplace trust, and the crushing reality of unmanaged ADHD symptoms in a professional setting. Every single failure just felt like a massive blow. That brings us to Section 2. Rank 3, the power of Concerta, establishing a biological baseline. So, what does this actually mean? Well, an ADHD brain often has lower than normal dopamine levels compared to neurotypical brains. And because of this, it essentially becomes a stimulation addict. It's frantically seeking out novelty or movement or just any distraction it can find just to feel normal. Concerta works by raising those dopamine levels so the brain doesn't have to endlessly hunt for external stimulation. And this brilliantly illustrates the difference. Before medication, he said task switching was like aiming a rusty cannon. It was agonizing, slow, and screeching with mental friction. If someone interrupted him, dragging his focus away and re-aiming it was painfully difficult. But on medication, it became a smooth, rapid-fire shotgun. Someone asks a question, boom, he answers. An email comes in, boom, he replies. He literally felt like an anime hacker with this frictionless focus, finally unlocking his true potential. But we need to be incredibly clear here. Concerta is a serious medical intervention. In Japan, where Mori Kubo's story takes place, this requires a specially licensed doctor. And it comes with severe potential side effects. We're talking headaches, nausea, a complete loss of appetite, and a brutal 12-hour insomnia period, followed by a massive energy crash. Most importantly, it is definitely not a magic cure-all. It just brings the biological baseline up to normal. You still have to put in the behavioral work. Next up is Section 3, the Rank 2 habit, reminder life, or building the external brain. I mean, have you ever blinked and realized 2 hours of hyperfocus just vanished? It is such a relatable trap. Mori Kubo used to sit down 15 minutes before a crucial meeting to write a quick 5-minute email. But that one email would grab his hyperfocus and drag him right down a rabbit hole. Suddenly, he'd blink, 2 whole hours had passed, his phone is blowing up with people asking where he is, and workplace trust is completely shattered. So the absolute necessity here is to consolidate every single life event into one centralized system, like Google Calendar. But just adding it to the calendar isn't enough, not even close. You have to go into your settings and force those notifications to be persistent. If an alert just pops up and fades away a few seconds later, an ADHD brain is going to treat it like background scenery and completely ignore it. That notification has to stay permanently on your screen until you manually dismiss it. Let's walk through this specific automated timeline he set up, because it's genius. First, an alert 2 hours prior. This is the commute safety net. So if he's at home in the suburbs, this gives him plenty of time to get into Tokyo. Next, an alert 30 minutes prior. This is office safety, making sure he has time to walk between meeting rooms or local spots. And finally, the critical 5 minutes prior alert. This acts as the violent hyperfocus breaker. It snaps him out of whatever he is currently doing so there's zero chance of being late. But here's the catch. Software alone just doesn't cut it. PC or phone alerts easily become invisible background noise when you're in a deep state of hyperfocus. The absolute non-negotiable hardware requirement for this to work was investing in a smartwatch, specifically an Apple Watch set to maximum bone-rattling vibration. You can ignore a visual pop-up, sure, but a violent physical vibration right on your wrist? You can't ignore that. This one investment completely eliminated his missed appointments. All right, now for Section 4. The number one most impactful daily habit, the 5-minute morning routine known as the AI diary. I absolutely love this metaphor. Think of the brain's working memory as a workbench. A neurotypical brain has this large, spacious workbench where you can put a complex work project but still keep a few minor worries neatly in the corner. But the ADHD working memory, it's a very small workbench. If even a tiny anxiety gets placed on it, like wondering if you lock the door, or feeling a bit hungry, or stressing over a minor argument, it takes up all the usable space. Doing complex work becomes literally impossible until that workbench is cleared off. So how do we clear it? With a super simple 3-step daily journal. First step is the detox. You brain dump every single complaint, worry, and physical annoyance you have, totally unfiltered. This effectively sweeps that small workbench clean. Second is the good. You force yourself to write 3 positive things you did yesterday, no matter how tiny. This is absolutely crucial to combat the ADHD brain's natural negative bias, which usually fixates only on failures. And finally, the motto. You look at the first 2 sections and create one single actionable next step for today, like, say, deciding to apologize to a friend you just argued with. And here is the clever secret sauce to all of this. You don't just write this down and close the book. No, you copy your detox, good, and motto, paste it straight into an AI chatbot, and specifically ask it for objective praise and life advice. Often, these diary entries are full of highly vulnerable insecurities that we'd be way too shy to share with a real person. By feeding it to an impartial AI, you get an instant ego boost, objective validation, and highly actionable life advice tailored directly to your current mental state. It's brilliant. Which brings us to our final section, turning weakness into strength, going beyond just trying to be normal. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the shift in mindset. For years, Morikubo focused entirely on fixing his flaws, like his chronic tardiness. But relentlessly fixing weaknesses only gets you a passing grade. It just brings you up to the baseline of being normal. If you actually want to achieve a perfect score, if you want to be extraordinary, you have to stop just patching holes and start actively honing your unique strengths. For a long time, Morikubo thought his loud, hyperactive voice and boundaryless energy were just annoying flaws. But through his daily AI journaling, he noticed a pattern. People kept telling him his energy was infectious. Talking to Morikubo gives me energy. He realized this wasn't a flaw at all. It was a superpower. He started leaning into it, using his vibrant energy to break the ice in awkward corporate Zoom meetings. And that completely transformed his career trajectory, eventually giving him the confidence to launch a highly successful YouTube channel. So I want to leave you with this provocative question. Can overcoming a weakness make you extraordinary? Or is your true superpower hiding in plain sight? Remember, the ultimate goal of all these systems, the medication, the vibrating watches, the AI diaries, isn't just to make you a compliant, normal worker. It is to clear all that noise away so you can finally unleash your beautifully unique, wildly creative strengths onto the world. Thank you so much for exploring this incredible journey with me today, and as always, keep learning.